Dominator is back, and the 2025 No Prep Kings NPK season is about to get wild. If you've been following Street Outlaws, you know that Dominator isn't just your average racer, he's a living legend. He's known for his grit, determination, and his refusal to quit. This season could be his breakout moment, and I'm not talking about just a strong finish, I'm talking about a real chance at the title. If you've been waiting for an underdog story, well, this could be the one that blows everyone away. So, buckle up, because things are about to get real intense. Let's take a look at where Dominator stands going into the 2025 season. For those who don't know, Dominator isn't like the other racers you see in the big-budget teams. While some racers have massive crews, endless resources, and the best equipment money can buy, Dominator does things the old-school way. He builds his car, tunes it, and races it all by himself. No team of mechanics, no fancy tools, just one man and his relentless work ethic. That's what has made him one of the most respected racers in the entire Street Outlaws world. It's not just about being fast, it's about earning respect the hard way. Now, let's talk about last season. It was a bit of a roller coaster for Dominator. We saw him struggle, waiting for parts, tweaking his setup, and battling inconsistency. But if you've been following along, you know that in racing, consistency is king. Towards the end of the season, we saw Dominator start to hit his stride. His car was making consistent passes, and that's the kind of performance that could be a game changer for the new season. And this year, things are looking different. Dominator is sticking with his twin-turbo setup, which is a bold move. On paper, a twin-turbo setup sounds like the perfect recipe for success. More power equals more speed, right? Well, it's not that simple. Turbochargers can make massive amounts of horsepower, but they come with their own set of challenges. The tune has to be absolutely perfect. We're talking about getting the boost, timing, fuel, and air all dialed in perfectly. If even one thing is off, it could cause problems on the track. And as anyone who's raced on a no-prep surface knows, getting a car to hook on that kind of surface is tough. But that's what makes Dominator's consistency towards the end of last season so impressive. If he can get this turbo setup dialed in for 2025, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But here's where things get really interesting, the new no-rules format in NPK this season. In past years, there were limits to what kind of setups racers could run. The rules kept things competitive and, in some cases, made it more challenging to build the ultimate car. But this year, it's wide open. Racers now have the freedom to experiment with their builds, and one of the biggest changes is the ability to run a 36-inch tall tire. That might not sound like a huge deal, but trust me, it's massive. What does a 36-inch tall tire do? It gives cars a better grip on the track, which means more traction and better performance. In the world of drag racing, better traction means you can put all that horsepower to the ground. And with the unpredictable nature of no-prep racing, traction is everything. But here's the big question. Can Dominator fit a 36-inch tire on his car? We don't know for sure yet, but there's a chance that he's modified his chassis to make it work. If he can, this could give him a significant advantage. If not, he might stick with a smaller setup, but either way, this rule change could really shake things up. We've seen Dominator battle the odds before. In past seasons, he's been the underdog, the guy who has to fight harder than anyone to keep up with the big-budget teams. But this season, there's a real chance he could shock everyone. If his turbo setup is dialed in, if he can take full advantage of the new tire rules, and if he can keep that late-season consistency rolling, then we could be looking at one of the most exciting comeback stories in Street Outlaws history. Could 2025 be Dominator's year? We're going to find out. But let's not kid ourselves. Dominator has his work cut out for him. The competition in NPK is fierce. The top teams have experienced tuners, massive sponsorship deals, and unlimited resources. The names like Ryan Martin, Kai Kelly, and Morenova are all at the top of their game, and they've been refining their setups for years. Beating them won't be easy, but it's not impossible. And here's the thing. Dominator doesn't need to win every race. He just needs to show that he can compete with the best. He thrives as the underdog, and that's where he's the most dangerous. If he can stay consistent and adapt to the changing conditions, he could end up being the breakout star of the season. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. No Prep Kings is one of the most unpredictable forms of racing. Unlike traditional drag racing, where the track is perfectly prepared for maximum grip, no prep racing forces drivers to race on raw, unprepped surfaces. That means the best NPK racers aren't just the ones with the most horsepower, they're the ones who can manage their power and adapt to the changing conditions. This is where Dominator's skill set really comes into play. If he can balance his massive turbo power with the traction he needs to hook up on these no-prep surfaces, he could surprise a lot of people. However, that's easier said than done. The twin-turbo setup requires perfect conditions to really shine. If Dominator can't keep his car hooked up, it's going to be another frustrating season. But if he figures out the balance between raw power and reliable traction, watch out, he could be on fire. The first few races of the season will be critical. They'll show whether he's got his setup dialed in or if he's still got work to do. The first few races could be the difference between a season full of struggles and a season of domination. One of the biggest things keeping Dominator going is his fan base. He may not have the biggest budget, but he's got one of the most loyal followings in the entire Street Outlaws community. Fans respect Dominator because he's been there from the start, grinding it out with hard work and determination. It's that kind of support that drives him to keep pushing, keep improving, and keep proving that hard work beats money every time. And as fans, we have a chance to be part of this journey. If you want to see Dominator rise to the top and maybe even take home the championship this year, now is the time to show your support. So, what can you do to support Dominator and keep up with all the action of NPK 2025? It's simple. Subscribe to Street Outlaws Show. This is where you'll get all the updates, all the race breakdowns, and all the insider info from the 2025 season. Whether you're cheering for Dominator or any of the other incredible drivers, this is the place to stay in the loop. Plus, by subscribing to Street Outlaws Show, you'll get access to exclusive behind-the-scenes footage, race recaps, and much more. If you love drag racing, if you're a fan of street racing, or if you just enjoy seeing the underdog rise to the top, then Street Outlaws Show is the channel for you. Don't miss out on any of the action. We're going to be following Dominator's journey every step of the way, and you won't want to miss it. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join the family. Dominator has always been counted out, but he keeps coming back stronger. With this new season, the pressure is on, but Dominator has shown time and time again that he's a fighter. This could be the year that he finally breaks through, and you'll want to be there to see it. Like, comment, and subscribe for more updates. The 2025 season is about to get crazy, and you won't want to miss a single second. Stay fast, stay loud, and we'll see you at the track.